Hey guys, so today what I'm doing is I'm going to cover this little journal book that I bought a while ago with this amazing tissue paper that I bought at Target. Isn't it so pretty? I know I've talked about it before, but it's so pretty to look at. Target's just an amazing store. It really is. They have just amazing things, and you can make just super fun gifts from, you know, they always have little booklets like this in the dollar spot, and then their tissue paper is super pretty and super inexpensive. So if you know what you're doing, you can make really quick and easy gifts that you can just, you know, start now with your stocking stuffers. Why not? So I was going to teach you how to cover something with tissue paper because it is a little tricky, and if you don't have the right adhesive, it can make the job really messy and gross. But you can use other adhesives, but to me this is the easiest. This is matte gel. It's actually matte gel medium from Liquitex, and you can get it at Michael's. It's a little pricey for the jar. Maybe this one's $9.99, something like that. But, you know, always use the coupon. This thing, it will last you forever. I go through mine pretty fast because other than my quick dry adhesive, I use this for everything else. Like if I'm not using my quick dry adhesive, then this is my go-to. This is pretty much the same thing as multi-medium matte that everybody uses in the card making community for adhering, you know, like wood veneers or sequins or kind of heavy duty stuff to their cards. And the reason why they use it is because it dries clear and it's no mess, no fuss. But this is the same thing, and I agree with buying this because it's a nice easy tip applicator. So I like having this around for cards, but I use this thing for everything else. I use it for art journaling, I use it for my artwork, I use it for decor, I even use it for decoupage when I'm in a pinch. So this stuff's great. But I'm just going to show you real quick how to do the tissue paper though, because you know, tissue paper's thin and it's a little tough to work with, but if you use this, lots easier. So I just want part of the cover to have a sliver running across it, but if you were going to cover the whole book, it's the exact same process. So let's see. Okay. Just want to cut off a little piece here real quick. And actually I'm going to trim up one edge with my trimmer, because otherwise it's going to be a little wonky. Because this has the gold running through it, it's a little bit heavier than most tissue papers are, but the same principle will apply. And I think I want this section to show. So that's how we're going to trim it off. There we go. Okay, and you can use a brush to apply it with. I'm going to use a foam brush just because it's the first thing I found. Always put a piece of paper between your cover and the other part of your book just to make sure the stuff doesn't get anywhere. And this doesn't have an odor or anything like that. But the trick is, so this stuff is thick, but you want a thinnish coat, especially with tissue paper, because this will bubble. Tissue paper is kind of a nightmare if you use anything else other than this. Like usually I'd say, oh, you can totally substitute Mod Podge, but especially with tissue paper, it's a little rough. And you just want a nice thin coat, but you want to make sure you're getting everywhere that you want this to hold. And try not to overwork the glue. Okay. I'm trying to get a straight line on one side. And then spread it out so you don't have any bubbles, but be careful not to spread it out too far to where you stretch your tissue paper. And this stuff dries pretty fast. It dries clear. And then the other thing you can do is, especially in art journaling, I use this stuff as a sealer too. I'll go over the top of it. If this wasn't shiny, I would do that. But I want to keep the shiny, so. Okay, let me just trim up the edges. Rounded corners are always difficult to go around. Okay, and then because you wet down a whole side, almost a whole side of a page right now, and you didn't wet down the other side. If it was my art journal, what I'd do is I'd clean off my brush, come back in and just do a little bit of moisture on the other side, and then you wouldn't have any buckling. But because I don't want to wet the papers inside, what I'm going to do is let it dry underneath some books. And probably for this stuff dries super quickly, so it's not going to be for a long time, but I would probably leave it under there like at least a couple hours just to make sure it doesn't buckle. And then decorate it how you like. I'm thinking something like a row of sequins, or maybe even using the sequins inside as a bookmark, something like that. So anyway, I just wanted to show you how to do it really quick. This stuff will make your life a lot easier if you're doing any kind of work with tissue paper or thin tissue like material. So that's it. That's all I want to show you. Have a good day, guys. Bye.